We cannot control our thoughts. We must learn to allow and observe them. And I mean that in the sense of our brain is constantly thinking 24/7, nonstop. No matter if you're doing something or not doing something, doing nothing, simply just bored, your brain is constantly working and constantly thinking. Unless we in this rare form, what we all like to call flow state. And I'll talk more about that in a second. But we quite frankly can't even control our thoughts, in a sense of whatever you look at, that's what you think about. Whatever you feel, whatever emotion you have, that's what you think about. We are constantly thinking. It's programming us to think. That's what our brain does. It thinks. And our thoughts are so powerful. Our thoughts are so powerful. We don't even know. But in flow state, which I was referring to, we tend to just move with our actions and tend to just go with the flow, go with the motion. We're in this state of form where our mind is so locked in on what we're doing, where it tends to be like human nature in a form. It tends to be like you know it like the back of your hand. Flow state is a very powerful tool that we can use, and it refers into basketball, but I feel like we can refer this to anything with our life, whether if it's working, it's a job, whether if it's studying, taking down notes, anything can be considered flow state when you really just in that mode. And I feel as if we are, us as a collective whole, we don't tap into that flow state mode enough. We don't activate that enough. And I myself, I struggle with the whole flow state thing in a sense because I don't know how it just comes and goes, and I still don't quite understand how that works. But our thoughts, they range from anything, words, whatever is said, it all turns into a thought. Like me, me describing and me talking right now gives you thoughts of how to feel and reacting to the words I'm saying. Images pop in your head when somebody describing something. Thoughts are literally everything. Thoughts come and go throughout the entire day. Thoughts, I feel as if we are our thoughts, but we are not our thoughts. And the way they just control and come and go. We have we have many negative thoughts, many positive thoughts, but I feel as if it's up to you to decide which thoughts you give life and which thoughts you tend to laugh off. In a sense, I feel as if with the negative thoughts, you must learn to just laugh them off, simply brush them off. Cause no matter what anyone says about having a positive mindset or just being this overall good person that don't have, you know what I'm saying, just this perfect person, that doesn't exist. You are gonna have negative thoughts about people, yourself, whatever you're doing, you're gonna have negative thoughts. And I feel as if we must learn how to make a joke out of our negative thoughts and keep pushing and move forward with whatever we're doing, whatever task we're doing, or even when we're bored and we have negative thoughts. I feel as if we must learn to not give it any mind or attention and never bring it to life. As with positive thoughts, we do the complete opposite. Lean on those thoughts, get somewhere with those thoughts. That's why I feel as if it's really a give and take on what you want to give your attention to with these thoughts. And it's so complicated and so complex. But at the end of the day, in a form, it's complicated, but at the same time, it's simple, you know? So that's why that really goes into what I was going to say about perspective. Everything is about perspective when it comes to our thoughts. Some thoughts may seem insane or crazy to other people, but those same thoughts may seem normal to you. We're all different in that playing field. It's just crazy, like how different our perspectives are from the next person. Nobody has the same perspective. We may have the same thoughts in some situations or some controversial things going on in the world, debates and all that. We may have the same thoughts, might have the same perspective on that, but in the sense of overall everything and the type of person you are being, all of our perspectives are different. So another thing I wanted to talk about was overthinking. Overthinking is a very common problem that we all deal with. I also deal with. And I feel as if even the people who are the tops of the food chain, who uh, overthinking is a common problem that we all face, even with this, especially in this journey of bettering ourselves and self improvement. If you overthink if everything you're doing is the right thing, you overthink if what you're doing is the wrong thing. It's all types of things I can get into, but overthinking is common and it's not a problem unless you make it a problem. I feel like overthinking can be very productive in the sense of planning, and that planning turns into real life solutions. But I feel as if overthinking becomes a problem when you're creating fake scenarios of the worst to happen or what could go wrong and all of that. That's when I feel as if and you're doubting your current state of mind and your current situations. You're doubting if you're gonna ever get to that level you want to be at. That's when I feel like overthinking becomes a major problem. And back to what I said earlier about you are your thoughts, but at the same time you are not your thoughts. A lot of people like to say that we are not these thoughts and that's just our ego. But in a sense, I tend to disagree with that statement because if we are not our thoughts, what are our thoughts? I know in a sense we are just the person that's experiencing this reality and being aware of everything. But at the same time, where are those thoughts coming from? You know? And I mean that in typically a way of we create our thoughts. So for people to say we are not our thoughts, where do those thoughts come from? And there's probably a lot of people out there that can answer that question, but I'm just not that far on my philosophy journey with that. But right now, I feel it's in a sense of we are our thoughts, but we are not. It's whatever. It's a give and take to whatever you want to align your thoughts with. You know, and I feel as if our thoughts can be beautiful at times when we appreciate appreciate our thoughts and in a sense of enjoying nature or in the sense of enjoying being somewhere, being on vacation, enjoying the feeling of happiness, enjoying the moments with your friends. You have nothing but positive thoughts in those times when you truly are just with one and truly just happy to be present and just happy to be being, Nothing outside of you is really just making you happy, but you are not to say that things outside of you can make you happy, but at the end of the day, it's you that's appreciating it with your thoughts and how you feel and controlling the tempo of, you know, your feelings and emotions. And you tell yourself how you feel on how on how things seem. Like you tell yourself everything inside of your head. And that I feel like that's a huge part of thoughts. You tell yourself the same them thoughts. Like and a lot of your thoughts is just your conscious mind telling you how to feel or how things seem. I feel as if that's 80% of your thoughts is just your conscious mind having a conversation with itself constantly throughout the day. I feel like that makes up majority of your thoughts. And with those constant thoughts coming in at your head, I feel as if it's very easy to get lost in your thoughts in a negative sense and getting lost with all the questions and all the doubts and getting lost and not actually being productive and just keeping everything inside your head. That's why I truly believe in staying where your feet are. I talked about this on my TikTok, and getting lost in your thoughts is the complete opposite of staying where your feet are. You're kind of drifting away from your feet and going to a different part that's not within yourself because you're just so lost in your thoughts and so lost with what it could be or what in a sense of how it should be, just getting lost. And I feel like everyone is creative and a lot of it just lays in our head. And I'm 100% against leaving your ideas and beliefs in your head and just I have full belief in being creative and putting yourself out there in a sense. I used to be one of those people that was scared on how people judge me and create all these thoughts and all these fake scenarios in my head on stuff that's outside of me that I should not care about. And that's a dangerous part of overthinking and getting lost in your thoughts. Who cares? Your thoughts, your thought is just the beginning. It's the base. But when you rely on your thoughts to do the reality work, that's when you get lost in it. Cause you have to stem away from your thoughts and be yourself and put those same thoughts into action and hard work into, you know, the things to get to where you want to go. That's why I feel as if your thoughts and yourself are two different things, but at one in the same time, in a sense. Uh, cause with all that hard work and all that was being done, being said, all that turns into real life results. But again, it starts with a thought and an idea and a belief that is inside of your head. But in order to get those real life results, you must do what it takes. And you cannot stay inside of this head. You know, our thoughts are so powerful. Like we really take for granted how powerful our thoughts are about the things we think on a constant basis, on a constant level, every single day. We have these thoughts, and what you constantly receiving in your head can really turn into reality. Think about it. If you constantly tell yourself nothing's gonna change, you're gonna be stuck in the same place forever, and you have the motions of those thoughts lingering around in your head daily, 9 times out of 10, that's exactly what's happening in your reality. But when you're telling yourself the opposite, I love myself, I'm doing great in life, I'm gonna keep climbing each and every single day, and it's not staying inside your head, 9 times out of 10 you are doing that. I feel as if your thoughts overall create your reality. And we take that for granted. I seriously mean that. So I say all that to say everything stems from a thought. Literally everything. That's why I feel as if thoughts are everything in a sense. My personal experience with thoughts, I've had times in my life where I was doubting myself and creating fake scenarios, like I said earlier. And doubt and fear, them be the main reasons why we don't pursue our actions or pursue our goals, because we have this imaginary belief, aka a thought that doesn't exist. So the climb over that hill, I got myself in a good headspace, laughing off them negative thoughts, like I said earlier, and just overall watching what I perceive and pay attention to and consume, because that's about 50% of your thoughts is what you consume on a day-to-day basis. But at the same time, it's about how you perceive. For instance, music. A lot of people think music, negative rap, hip hop music, tends to make people more angry or more violent, or all this nonsense. I truly believe, and I know for a fact, that I'm not a violent person at all. I'm not no, aggressive person. It's all about how you perceive stuff. When I hear a rap song or a hip hop song that I like, I tend to just bow my head, learn the lyrics, and just, just stay myself. At the end of the day, I stay myself. But some people who perceive things differently and are easily influenced can tend to hear a hip hop music and it motivates them to do evil and bad things. Because a lot of these hip hop songs are rapping a lot of evil and not so good stuff, let's be honest. But it's all about how you perceive stuff. So to a person that is easily influenced, I'll say learn to be yourself and learn to love yourself, you know, and learn to take control of your mind and your thoughts. Because when you're easily influenced, I feel as if you don't control yourself. You don't control yourself at all. And it's a vast difference between being easily influenced and being easily inspired. Easily inspired, that's amazing, that's beautiful. Easily influenced, that's a whole different thing. Influence can go anywhere. Influence can also be good, but I feel as if influence usually is negative, but inspiring can never be negative. So, in conclusion, this is my first ever YouTube video. As if you watch the whole thing, I really appreciate you. I'm here to post every single day and get better at talking. I'm just a beginner right now. I'm falling in love with this idea of philosophy and just learning each and every single day about our human mind, talking about real world problems. I'm not gonna be with this YouTube channel. I don't tend to be a one trick pony. I tend to want to do multiple things with this channel, but at the same time, I might create another channel because it ain't nothing for me to create another account. So subscribe, like the video, share with somebody. I highly appreciate it. And I highly appreciate you for watching. And my message: love all and love yourself the most.